everybody, this is Danny Class, and today we are going to take a look at how to play in fingerstyle the free stroke and the rest stroke off the right hand. This will be a way for you to hopefully add some different colors, some different technique, just a different level of choice and complexity when it comes to the right hand when we play fingerstyle. And when we play fingerstyle, usually that's what we mean is, unless you're left-handed, the technique that's used on the right hand. I suppose there's ways we can use the left hand, but it's not really fingerstyle per se. It's just left-hand technique that's used in any style. So the fingerstyle technique today off the right hand is going to be looking at how we can use individual fingers to play strings in a certain way. And so what I will do is I'm going to move the camera closer and put it more towards the right hand that I'm using. And on my left hand in the intro, I just had a straightforward A chord. I barred it, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to keep that there for now because it doesn't really matter for today's lesson what your left hand is doing, but I'll just keep it on an A chord. Okay, so by rest stroke and by free stroke, what we mean is off the individual fingers or the thumb, the way the fingers strike the note, but also really what happens after. So I will do first what we'll call free stroke, and what that means is when you strike a note, the finger kind of freely flies up off the string after you strike it. So for example, here I have my ring finger, my third finger on the B string, and as I play it, you see how it kind of curls up. I'll do that with my middle finger. When I play it, it just kind of curls up. And with my index finger on the D string, same thing. It just kind of curls up, and that would also work for the thumb. And this seems to be very common in folk and jazz, really anything. And the benefit, of course, is that the note will ring afterwards, and you're able to kind of not, I guess, stress about what you have to do with your fingers because they always kind of go up. And speaking for myself, this was how I was trained by many music teachers, that when you pluck a chord, again, in this case, this A chord, that your fingers kind of just go up and are, curl up into your palm. Okay, and off single notes, same thing, just kind of go up and they freely fly up. But what if we had a different way of striking the note? And this comes more from the classical world that we'll call a rest stroke. And so what we do is, and I'll use my middle finger as an example, when we play the note, we're going to play it, and then we're going to rest the pad of our fingertip, so not really the nail, but the pad on the next string that's adjacent. And so since I'm physically going up, that's going to be the next string up. I'm hesitating because, of course, the guitar and pitch, they go down, so the ups and downs get kind of confusing. But what I mean is visually up towards my eyes. Okay, I'll give you an example. So here we have my middle finger on the B string, and if I play a rest stroke, I'm going to rest on the G after I hit it. I'll do it again. And when it rests on, in this case, the G, it's not doing anything. It's literally just kind of resting there. It's really cool, because first of all, notice the difference in the sound. Here's the free stroke version. And here, excuse me. And here's the rest stroke version. Definitely louder, no question about it. Here I'm doing another one off my, excuse me, my index finger off resting on the D string. kind of in combination. First, the middle finger from the B to the G, and then the index finger from the G to the D. To the rest, to the rest. And you know, it's interesting, you really have to kind of dig in. I do it from time to time, but it's still a bit, for me, a bit unnatural, so it takes some practice, but that's a fun practice. You can keep going up. And of course, you can do a thumb. I must confess, for me, I don't, because for whatever reason, I haven't learned it, or I never bothered, or maybe my thumbnail is kind of catching, but that's kind of what would happen if you did it that way. But I just do it with my fingers going up, resting. So let's do it one more time. Free stroke, in this case, from middle finger on the B string, and then a rest stroke, that is from the B and resting on the G. Maybe it's good to kind of exaggerate the motion, kind of notch your knuckle in like that. And then here's another example of a free stroke from the G to the D, or just the G really, because there's no to the, just free up, no problem there, what you're all used to. And then how about a rest stroke from the G to the D? It does require you to, kind of shift a little bit, right? Maybe how your wrist goes. It seems to kind of want to go that way. So I would encourage you to try these rest strokes. You might, unless you have a traditional classical teacher, you might not be familiar with them. And these would be great for electric too. Why not, right? And you're able to, really get a lot more volume. I mean, it really is noticeable, isn't it? The projection. And I would suspect that's because classical guitarists are working with an instrument where they have to kind of tease out much more volume and complexity that is not available because they're not plugged in. Or with a steel string where there's just tend to be a little louder, I think. All right, so hopefully you found that interesting and useful for your fingerstyle technique, the free stroke and the rest stroke, and good luck as you try it. All right, I will see you next time. So long. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.